This video is based on a blog by Natalia Atsuko Hoshi. As a board member of the Japan-Brazil Central Association, a Brazilian dentist, and representative of H&A, she connects Japan and Brazil. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a true insider's journey to Santos. Located just a short drive from São Paulo, it's this incredibly vibrant coastal city that holds some major surprises for anyone willing to look just a bit past the usual tourist trails.
Okay, let's dive right into this. How can one single city hold two completely different worlds? I mean, imagine a place with this incredible dynamic tension. It's kind of like a city with a split personality, but in the absolute best way possible. Santos isn't just your standard run-of-the-mill destination. It's this fascinating, beautiful contradiction that's going to totally challenge what you expect from a Brazilian coastal town. So the city is essentially split into two totally distinct realities. On one hand, you've got the Centro District. This is the historic heart, right? It's a slightly gritty, super high-energy hub that actually houses South America's massive working port. But then, you travel just a short distance over to the Beach District, and the vibe completely flips. Suddenly, you're surrounded by these wide, pristine coastlines, luxurious high-rises, and a super relaxed, safe environment where locals are just strolling around in flip-flops and bikinis.
And honestly, the visual proof of that tension is wild. Just picture yourself standing there for a second. You've got these massive, towering cargo ships operating at full industrial capacity, literally navigating waters just a stone's throw away from people sunbathing under palm trees on a golden beach. It's surreal. And that incredible contrast, that is the true essence of Santos.
All right, let's move along and see how this all ties into the city's really profound history. Right along that beautiful coastline stands the Japanese Immigration Monument. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that this exact spot marks the starting point for over 250,000 Japanese immigrants. After these long, exhausting ocean journeys, they arrived right here in Santos, with huge hopes, ready to build totally new lives. It's a really powerful, solemn monument that represents the deep roots of Brazil's Japanese community.
Moving inland from the beach, Santos is hiding some pretty spectacular architectural secrets too. I really want to share a true hidden gem with you, the Pinacoteca Benedicto Calixto. Now, this is not your average building. It's this magnificent early 20th century mansion originally built by a massively wealthy coffee baron. And today, it's been beautifully preserved and transformed into this stunning art museum.
Stepping up to its pristine white facade almost feels like you're time-traveling back to the absolute peak of Brazil's historic coffee wealth. But okay, here's the insider tip from Natalia. Tucked away in the museum's garden is this charming French-style cafe. It's the absolute perfect luxurious little escape. You can just sit back, soak in the historic architecture, admire some modern art, and maybe, definitely, enjoy a piece of bolo gelato. That's a delicious chilled coconut cake, by the way. Highly recommend it.
Okay, so we've explored the sights and the history, but are you ready to taste the true flavor of a bustling port city? Because an insider's tour of Santos is absolutely not complete without diving headfirst into the local seafood. I mean, with the ocean literally right at its doorstep, the culinary scene here is vibrant, it's fresh, and it's deeply tied to the local culture.
Let's start things off with a dish that's honestly just as fun to say as it is to eat: Marisco lambe lambe. This is a super playful, traditional dish made of mussels slow-cooked with rice. Now, lambe literally translates to lick or scoop in Portuguese. And get this, that's exactly how you eat it. Forget the fork, you literally use the empty mussel shells themselves as little spoons to scoop up the flavorful rice. It's interactive, it's messy in the best way, and it's so delicious.
Next up on our culinary journey is casquinha de siri. If you're a fan of rich, comforting seafood, this is an absolute must-try. It's a classic Brazilian preparation made with tender city crab meat slowly simmered with coconut milk, fresh tomatoes, and rich dende oil. And let me tell you, that dende oil infuses the whole dish with this incredible deep tropical flavor that just melts in your mouth.
Moving over to the hearty, robust side of Portuguese cuisine, we have arroz de polvo, basically a rich octopus risotto. The octopus is cooked perfectly, super tender, and deeply flavored with garlic and onion. But what's really visually striking about this one is that when it arrives at your table, it often features this massive, whole tentacle right smack in the center of the dish. It's a total showstopper.
But if you ask Natalia for her absolute favorite culinary tip, she'll enthusiastically point you to this:
Lula adore. We're talking perfectly crispy, golden fried squid rings. And the true insider secret to enjoying these? You've got to eat them right on the beach, heavily squeezed with fresh lime juice and paired with an ice-cold Brazilian beer. Honestly, that right there is the ultimate Santos experience.
So, we've tasted the amazing food, we've seen the beautiful sights, but let's shift gears for just a second. How do you go beyond just being a passive tourist? Like, how do you actually become an insider? Because, tasting the food is wonderful, but laughing, sharing jokes, and truly connecting with the locals you meet, that's the magic. That is what transforms a simple trip into a lifelong memory.
There's a great quote that says, "True communication begins with understanding different cultures." And it's so true. To really connect with the people of Santos, or honestly anywhere in Brazil, you have to break down those language and cultural barriers. It isn't just about memorizing some vocabulary from a textbook, right? It's about actually understanding the heart, the humor, and the everyday habits of the people you're talking to. And that is exactly where Natalia's initiative, the H&A Portuguese-Schnool, comes into play. They bridge these exact communication gaps through online lessons that are custom-tailored to your goals. They focus heavily on practical communication while giving you deep cultural insights, really exploring those nuances between Brazil, Japan, and the US. They don't just teach you the words, they teach you the whole cultural context behind them so you can actually speak with confidence and real empathy.
Which brings us to our final takeaway. If you're ready to start bridging that gap yourself, you can go ahead and scan the QR code to kick off a free trial lesson with H&A Portuguese-Schnool. So, I'm going to leave you with this somewhat provocative thought. Will your next trip be as an outsider just looking in through window, or as a true insider speaking the language and living the culture? The choice is entirely yours.